one of the core principles, the foundational things that we work on in ProCoach, and we call it all together, please. Cleanups, completions, and deletions. So now, for those of you that were at the last quarterly seminar, you know that as a group, this is the success factor the entire program is working on this quarter, is focusing on these cleanups, completions, and deletions. But for you as a newer member into the program, this is an important foundational principle that you will carry forward with you ongoing, and certainly for the sake of this video that we're creating for those that don't have a success factor of cleanups, completions, and deletions in the quarter that they're watching the video, we need to talk about this piece as well. So what is it about those unfinished tasks? And like, raise your hand if you've got a long to-do list and it gets longer rather than shorter. Yeah, right? I can even see the energy go, oh, right? What is it about them that drags you down?
They're in the way.
Yeah, they're in the way of what?
Your goals, your intentions, your dreams, everything. If you got a big mountain in the way, it's harder to get around it or over it.
Yeah, and it's not.
Clear it out of the way. You could just run to the finish line.
And it's not always just a big mountain. Have you ever noticed it's not? It's actually just clutter. It's spread all over the place.
It feels like a big mountain.
Yes, it does feel like a big mountain because every one of those unfinished pieces saps your energy, right? Barry, what were you going to say?
It saps your energy.
It saps your energy. Absolutely. Is there an echo in here? Krista.
I also find that when I'm working on the things that are really important, sometimes I get spots. And those old cleanups, completions are a great procrastinator. They're a great way to take me out. So I find it really can zap the energy in that way too. But if I don't have a bunch of other clutter, then it's much easier to stay focused on what's going to move my business forward.
Absolutely. So distraction for you, both energetically and also in terms of the time and the things that you as you spend time working on them, they hold you back, right? So how many of you realize that in order to create the business the way you want it, you're going to have a lot of energy, right? Yeah. How many of you want to live a life where you're energized rather than lethargic? Yes? Right? So what we're talking about here is a really dangerous situation where all of your incomplete items, your cleanups, completions, and deletions, as we call them, are sapping that energy and holding you back into the status quo again. And so there's a number of benefits to dealing with these things. And by the way, I don't have a scientific definition of a cleanup, a completion, and a deletion. Essentially, a cleanup is a project that's been started or that needs to get started. It's a mess. It's a cleanup to me is if there's a mark on the wall, or my car needs cleaning, or something that needs to be tidied up. The windows are dirty. Whatever it is, that's a cleanup to me. A completion is a project that is waiting to be finished. So it might be something that I haven't even started on yet, but it's definitely, when I do it, I'll feel complete. Or it might be something that I'm actually already started on and then is sitting there unfinished. Has anybody got an unfinished project sitting around? Yeah, right? So it's already been started, but it's not finished. So that's a cleanup. And a deletion is where you actually realize that whatever this is, you want to get it right out of your life to free up your energy. And this, by the way, can include people, right? So there's a whole workbook in your blue Success Factor binder. So inside here, there's a whole workbook on cleanups, completions, and deletions, including the audio of me presenting it to the group. So I'm not going to get into too much detail on it here, but more than that, I really want to just work on it a little bit. To me, the whole cleanups, completions, and deletions piece is it's absolutely one of the core philosophies, the core elements of ProCoach, because day after day, week after week, month after month, we're adding more stuff into our lives, and completion, more incompletes and more incompletes keep building up, and still, until, as Debbie was saying, we kind of get locked into them, and there's no elbow room, there's no space for us, right? Getting rid of those will help you reclaim the energy that you need to be an entrepreneur, as well as Well, let's talk about it. So what are some of the other benefits of getting rid of those incompleted things? Other than freeing up energy, what else happens? Yeah.
Freeing up time. For me, I keep having this image almost like it's like a kid's playroom where there's toys everywhere, and like you have to get from there to there really fast, but you're stepping over this and dodging that, stepping.
Yes.
You can't move very fast because you're constantly moving around all this crap.
So it's constantly distracting you from your focus. That's one thing for sure. What else? Another benefit. Anybody find that you think more clearly when you've got a free space, a clear desk in front of you? Yes?
Yeah.
Right? And again, clear thinking. We're building businesses here. We need to be thinking clearly. And as you said, it speeds things up. Now, we talked... You all know that the number one motivation, the number one thing that all entrepreneurs want and wanted when they started their business is what? One word.
Freedom.
Freedom, right? Have you ever noticed how this clutter, all these incompletions, delete your, they get in the way of your freedom, right? They basically interfere with you creating whatever it is that you set out to create. So having an environment that's not distracting allows you to stay more focused. And there's also something around impressing yourself. Remember we talked about the way to build your confidence and how important confidence is. The way to build your confidence is to impress yourself, yes? How impressed are you when your office looks like a tornado just went through there, right? And when you look at it with a clean desk, how do you feel about yourself? Right? So there's a piece about just the pride and the confidence that you have. And finally, and last but not least, have you ever walked into the office of somebody where there's clutter everywhere? Okay, how do you feel? Do you feel like this is a person you trust and want to do business with?
Nope.
I don't think so, right? You want to go, get me out of here, it's sapping my energy. You ever been in the office, a really professional office of somebody that everything's clean and everything has its place? Yes? How do you feel in that office?
Trust them.
Yeah, it's impressive. It raises your expectations and your confidence in the person, right? So what I'm saying is that when you deal with your cleanups and completions, you actually are going to be more attractive to other people that are the kind of people you want to do business with, right? It's a very, very important principle. So in the workbook that's in the blue Success Factor binder, the whole thing is in there. There's the DVD, the video or the audio of me presenting it, as I mentioned. And we can talk about it forever. The bottom line is that in order for you to get the energy you want and move ahead, you need to start cleaning up all those incompletions and make it consistent. And here's the biggest secret of all. Doing cleanups takes time and energy, both. You need to set aside time on a regular basis. Personally, when I do my cleanups in the weekly planner, I usually set it down to do 10 minutes a day. And I use a timer for it. Anybody use a timer for doing this kind of thing? Set a timer. So then 10 minutes a day just to stay on top of things. And it also takes energy to work on these things because have you ever noticed you just... who was it was talking about resisting going to even near the table that had all your stuff on it, going near the desk, right? There's a resistance to dealing with these things. There's some reason that you've allowed them to build up, and there's a resistance to breaking through them. So I really challenge you to break through that resistance and allot the time and energy to move forward on these things. One last piece on this I'll say is that it's my belief, I won't say I've proven this, but it's my belief that there are many people in this world, many people, who actually use clutter and a long list of things to do as a reason to avoid the necessity to ever confront doing something new. Because after all, if you're so busy right now, how could you ever go and do ballroom dancing or bring on that new project or whatever, right? It's a subconscious strategy, I believe, that actually a way that we hold ourselves back and then we look good, we look busy. And so nobody can criticize us, and yet truth is, it's actually our strategy for not moving ahead. Does that make sense to everyone? All I can say is allocate time and energy consistently to keep working on them. You absolutely have to block off time to work on them because otherwise they build up, and when they build up, they hold you back. Yes? Give somebody a high five. Say, I am going to be a cleanup completion machine.